Have you ever tried to listen to native French speakers and it just feels like you've hit a wall of sound? Well, you were definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to uncover one key technique that could completely, and I mean completely, change how you hear the French language. So, does this sound familiar? You're listening to a French movie, maybe a song, or a real conversation, and it all just melts into this one long, incomprehensible blur. You've studied the vocab, you know the grammar, but for some reason, you just can't keep up. Believe me, it's a super common and incredibly frustrating feeling. You know, for most of us learning the language, this isn't just a feeling, it's our reality. That beautiful, rapid-fire French that we want to understand, well, it sounds more like noise than an actual language, right? You might catch a word here and there, but the bigger picture, the actual meaning, is totally lost. It can honestly make you feel like you're never going to get it. But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't that French is too fast? What if the real problem is the way we've been taught to listen? The whole argument here is that we've been coming at this from completely the wrong angle. We're always told the same things, right? Just study more vocabulary, or move to France. But you know, a lot of people do all of that, and they still struggle. The real issue, what no one really tells you, is that we haven't trained our brains to simply hear the individual sounds when they're spoken at a natural pace. Let's just look at these typical approaches for a second. Trying to learn more words is kind of useless if you can't even pick out the words you already know in a fast sentence. And asking people to slow down, that's not going to fly in the real world. Relying on context just becomes a frustrating guessing game if you can't hear the key words. See, we've been treating the symptom, the speed, instead of the actual root cause. Okay, so if cramming more vocab and watching more movies isn't the answer, what is? Well, the solution is actually surprisingly simple. It's not about studying harder, it's about training smarter, with one specific technique that's designed to literally rewire how your brain processes sound. And here it is. It's called the repetition technique. And the goal here is super focused. We are training our ears, not our eyes. That means we're putting away the subtitles, we're putting away the flashcards, and we're focusing on one thing and one thing only, the skill of listening. So here's how it actually works. You take a really short audio clip at natural speed. The first time you listen, your only job is to just relax. Let the sounds wash over you. No pressure. Then, on the second and third listens, you'll start to notice individual words just kind of popping out of the noise. And by the fourth and fifth listen, something really amazing happens. The blur starts to clear up, and whole words and phrases just click into place. Now, the rules here are strict, but they're the secret sauce to making this work. You have to listen at full speed. You can't look up words you don't recognize, and you shouldn't have any idea what the context is. And you might be asking, why? Well, it's because we are isolating one single skill, your brain's ability to pick apart sounds. See, this isn't just some language hack. It's a legitimate form of brain training. By repeating that same piece of audio, you're giving your brain the raw data it needs to build a new neural pathway, a pathway that can actually process the sounds of French at native speed. You're turning chaos into clarity. I mean, just look at this comparison. Before you do this, your brain just hears a wall of sound. It can't keep up, so it's forced to guess. But after this training, that same wall of sound starts to separate into distinct individual words. Your brain learns to process the sounds efficiently, and that right there is the foundation for real understanding. The fancy term for this is auditory training. We're not teaching the language part of your brain so much as we're teaching the fundamental sound processing part. It's like tuning an old radio. Before, all you heard was static. Now, you're learning how to dial in that frequency to get a perfectly clear signal. And honestly, this is the most powerful part. After you go through those 5 listens, you haven't actually learned a single new French word. You have no new context. And yet, you understand more. That's not magic. It's proof that the problem was never your vocabulary. It was your brain's ability to hear. So, what's the end game here? How does this little exercise actually translate into real-world success? Let's talk about the payoff, because it's huge. First off, that constant, kind of awkward need to ask, "Can you speak more slowly, please?" That just starts to fade away. You're no longer constantly playing catch-up in every single conversation. And instead, you just get this, the incredible feeling of simply understanding. Conversations start to flow. They feel natural without that constant mental gymnastics. So here's the crucial point. This technique doesn't replace your other skills, it unlocks them. Once your brain can keep up with the speed and actually distinguish the words, then you can finally use context effectively to fill in any words you don't know. You build the foundation of hearing first, and then you add all the other layers of comprehension right on top. At the end of the day, listening is half the battle of mastering any language. This technique gives you the tool to finally win that half. It's a workout for your brain, for sure, but it's one with some pretty incredible results. So, the only question left is your brain ready for the workout?